Your Mazda may sound fine today, but the wrong oil could already be hurting it. Not the engine, not the transmission, the oil. One wrong bottle can create sludge, wear, heat, and repair bills long before any warning light appears. Stay with me because in the next few minutes, you will know exactly which oil habits to avoid before they quietly destroy your Mazda, and number one is the mistake even careful owners keep making before the damage becomes expensive. In this video, I will show you 10 oil mistakes. Stay close because number 1 catches almost everyone. Number 10, buying oil. Because it is cheap, not because it matches the engine. Let me start with the mistake that looks harmless in the store aisle. You walk in, see a bottle marked engine oil, notice the price is low, and think, oil is oil. That small decision can become a very expensive lesson in a Mazda. Mazda engines, especially Skyactiv engines, are not old loose engines that can swallow almost anything and keep going. They are built with tight clearances, high compression, precise valve timing, and oil passages that depend on the right flow. The oil does more than lubricate. It cools, cleans, protects timing components, helps fuel economy, and separates moving parts under pressure. Cheap oil becomes dangerous when it is cheap for the wrong reason. Some budget bottles may meet older standards, but not the current quality your engine needs. Some may have weak detergent packages. Some may shear down quickly under heat. Some may leave deposits faster in engines that already run hot in traffic. Here is the scary part. Bad oil rarely destroys an engine in one dramatic moment. It usually takes a slower road. First, the engine gets noisier on cold starts. Then the oil darkens faster. Deposits collect around rings, valves, and small oil passages. Fuel economy drops. Then one day, the engine begins using oil between changes, and everybody acts surprised. Do not choose oil by price first. Choose by the owner manual first. Look for the right viscosity, the right API or ILSAC quality mark, and the right change interval. After that, compare prices. That is how you save money without gambling. Wait until you see the next mistake. This one comes from people trying to do the right thing, and it still hurts their Mazda. Number 9, using the wrong viscosity. Because another car in the house uses it, this happens all the time. Your old Toyota used 5W30. Your truck uses 10W30. Your friend says thicker oil protects better. So when your Mazda needs an oil change, you grab whatever is already on the shelf. It feels practical. It feels smart. It can be completely wrong. Viscosity is not just a number printed on the bottle. It tells you how the oil behaves when cold and when hot. A Mazda engine designed for 0W20 needs quick flow during cold starts and stable protection when the engine reaches operating temperature. A turbo Mazda that requires 5W30 needs a slightly different balance because the turbocharger creates extra heat. The danger is not just using oil that is too thin or too thick. The danger is assuming one grade works for every Mazda in every country, every engine, and every climate. It does not. A naturally aspirated Mazda 3 may call for one grade. A CX-5 turbo may call for another. A Mazda sold in the United States may list different guidance from a Mazda sold in another region. When the oil is too thick, it may not move fast enough during startup. Those first few seconds matter because most engine wear happens before oil fully circulates. When oil is too thin for the engine and conditions, it may not maintain the same protective film under heat and load. Either way, the engine is not getting what engineers designed it to get. So here's the friendly rule. Do not copy your neighbor or a forum comment without checking your exact model. Open the manual, check the engine type, check the market, and check the label on the oil bottle. Before number 8, hit subscribe if you want car advice that saves money without sounding like a dealership pitch. Now stay with me, because the next mistake is the one many older mechanics still recommend. Number 8, pouring in thick oil. Because you think thicker means safer. A lot of drivers grew up hearing this line. If the engine is getting older, give it thicker oil. That advice may have worked on some older engines with loose tolerances, but applying it blindly to a modern Mazda can create problems you never saw coming. Thicker oil can raise oil pressure on the gauge, and that makes people feel better. But pressure is not the same as flow. Your engine needs oil to reach bearings, camshafts, timing chain components, and tiny passages quickly. If the oil is too thick, especially on cold mornings, the pump works harder and the oil moves slower. That delay can increase wear exactly when the engine needs protection most. In a Skyactiv engine, oil flow matters because the engine is designed to reduce friction and improve efficiency. They chose it because the pump, bearings, ring design, variable valve timing system, and fuel economy targets all work together. Change one part of that system without understanding it, and you may create a problem while trying to prevent one. This is especially important for drivers who only take short trips. If your Mazda runs 5 minutes to school, 10 minutes to work, then sits again, thick oil may stay below full operating temperature. That means more moisture, more fuel dilution, slower warm-up, and more sludge risk. Does every Mazda everywhere require the same oil? No. Climate, market, engine type, and manual guidance matter. Some regions list multiple viscosities. Some engines allow alternatives, but that is the point. Let the manual decide, not old shop folklore. If your Mazda is burning oil, do not hide the issue with a random thick grade. Find the cause. It may be worn rings, valve seals, a PCV issue, turbo trouble, or long service intervals. Thick oil can quiet symptoms while the real problem grows. And the next mistake is the opposite. Some owners go too thin because they think newer always means better. That can be just as risky. Number 7. Using ultra thin oil. Just because new cars. Use it. Walk through an oil aisle and you will see newer grades that look futuristic. 0W16, 0W12, low friction, hybrid approved, maximum fuel economy. The bottle looks advanced and the marketing sounds impressive. But advanced does not mean correct for your Mazda. Some modern engines are built specifically for ultra-thin oil. Their bearings, oil pumps, clearances, and cooling systems are designed around that grade. If your Mazda manual does not call for it, you should not assume it is an upgrade. Lower viscosity can reduce friction, but it can also reduce the thickness of the protective film under heat, load, and hard acceleration. This matters even more in hot climates, heavy traffic, mountain driving, or spirited driving. A Mazda engine may already be dealing with high combustion pressure, stop-and-go heat, and long idle periods. If you add oil that is thinner than the engine expects, you may not notice anything at first. The engine may even feel smooth. But wear can happen quietly at bearings, cam journals, and timing components. Here is where people get trapped. They hear that thinner oil improves fuel economy, then they chase 1 extra mile per gallon while risking a repair that costs thousands. That is not savings. That is gambling. You should also be careful with online charts that are not written for your exact market. A Mazda in Europe, Africa, Asia, Canada, or the United States may not have identical recommendations. Emissions rules, fuel quality, climate assumptions, and available oil standards can change what appears in the manual. So the rule is simple. If your manual says 0W20, use a quality 0W20. If your turbo manual says 5W30, use a quality 5W30. If it gives a range, choose within that range based on your climate and driving. Do not invent a new grade because the bottle looks modern. The next oil mistake is even more tempting because the bottle often says heavy duty. That sounds protective, but in a Mazda it can create a different kind of trouble. Number 6. Using diesel or heavy duty oil. In a gasoline Mazda, some people swear by heavy duty diesel oil. They say it has more additives, stronger protection, and better cleaning power. In certain engines, under the right conditions, that may be true. But using diesel oil in a gasoline Mazda without checking the exact approval can be a bad move. Diesel engines and gasoline engines do not always need the same additive balance. Diesel oils may contain different detergent, anti-wear, and ash levels. Modern gasoline engines have catalytic converters, oxygen sensors, and emission systems that can be sensitive to the wrong additive chemistry over time. Your Mazda does not just need strong oil, it needs compatible oil. This is where the label matters. If the bottle does not carry the gasoline rating your manual requires, do not use it just because somebody online said diesel oil is tougher. Tougher in one category can be wrong in another. Your engine oil has to protect metal parts, control deposits, support fuel economy, and remain friendly to emission equipment. Turbocharged Mazdas make this even more serious. Turbochargers create intense heat. Oil has to survive that heat without coking, thickening, or breaking down. The correct gasoline-rated synthetic oil is built for that job. Random heavy-duty oil may not be the smart shortcut people think it is. Another issue is cold flow. Some diesel oils are heavier than what many Mazda gasoline engines require. If the oil flows slower on startup, your engine can suffer wear before it ever reaches the highway. Again, the problem may not show up tomorrow. It may appear as chain noise, oil consumption, rough running, or expensive repairs years later. So do not get impressed by words like heavy duty, fleet, commercial, or extreme protection. The only words that matter are the ones matching your Mazda manual and the certification marks on the bottle. And now we need to talk about one oil category that sounds fast, expensive, and powerful, but can be completely wrong for daily driving. Number 5. Using racing oil. On a daily driven, Mazda racing oil sounds like the best oil in the world. Who would not want race protection in a daily driver? The problem is that racing oil is designed for racing conditions, not school runs, traffic jams, short trips, and 6 months of normal life inside your engine. Many racing oils are built for engines that get torn down, inspected, or serviced frequently. They may focus heavily on high-temperature protection and anti-wear performance while giving less attention to long drain intervals, cold start protection, detergent balance, and emission system compatibility. That is fine on a track car. It is not automatically fine in your Mazda crossover or sedan. Daily driving is actually brutal in a different way. Your Mazda starts cold, it idles, it crawls in traffic, it takes short trips where the oil may not get hot enough to burn off moisture, it faces fuel dilution, condensation, dust, and long calendar time between oil changes. A good street oil is designed to handle all of that. Racing oil can also mislead owners into extending intervals. They think, this oil is expensive, so it must last longer. Not always. Some racing oils are not designed for long service at all. They are designed to protect under extreme load for a shorter period. That is a completely different job. If your Mazda is modified and used on track days, that is different. You should work with a qualified tuner, monitor oil temperature, consider oil analysis, and service the car more often. But for normal owners, racing oil is usually the wrong flex. It is paying extra to solve the wrong problem. Use a high-quality, full synthetic oil that meets the manual. Change it on time. Use the right filter. That boring formula saves more engines than flashy bottles ever will. Quick reminder, if this video is helping you avoid expensive mistakes, tap like and comment with your Mazda model. I want to know what you drive. Now, number 4 is where many careful owners still get caught. Number 4. Trusting long oil change. Intervals shots. When your driving is severe. This mistake is dangerous because the owner feels responsible. They say, I change my oil when the maintenance light tells me. I follow the car, I do not abuse it, so why did the engine still get dirty inside? The answer is simple. Your driving may be severe even if you drive gently. Severe driving does not only mean racing, towing, or climbing mountains. It can mean long idling, dusty roads, regular short trips, stop and go traffic, extreme heat, extreme cold, or frequent low-speed driving. That sounds like normal life for many Mazda owners. School runs, city traffic, delivery routes, office commutes, weekend errands. The car may never look abused, but the oil is working hard. When oil never gets fully hot for long enough, moisture and fuel can build up. When the engine idles in traffic, hours pass without many miles showing on the odometer. When dust enters through a dirty air filter, the oil has more contamination to carry. When heat is extreme, the oil oxidizes faster. All of these shorten oil life. Mazda maintenance schedules often separate normal driving from severe driving. In severe conditions, the oil and filter may need replacement every 5,000 miles or 6 months, whichever comes first. Here's the trap. Many drivers wait for 10,000 miles because the bottle says full synthetic. Full synthetic is excellent, but it is not magic. It still gets contaminated. It still ages. It still has a limit. If your Mazda lives in traffic, heat, dust, short trips, or long idle time, do not brag about stretching oil changes. Brag about protecting the engine. A shorter interval may cost a little more now, but it can save timing components, turbo bearings, piston rings, and your peace of mind later. And if you think the oil itself is the only thing that matters, number 3 will surprise you, because one cheap part can ruin even the best oil. Number 3. Pairing. Good oil with a cheap filter. A lot of Mazda owners spend money on good oil, then grab the cheapest filter on the shelf. That is like buying clean water and pouring it through a dirty cup. The filter matters more than people think. Your oil filter has several jobs. It traps particles, it maintains flow, it holds oil when the engine is off. It uses a bypass valve to protect the engine if flow becomes restricted. It must survive pressure changes, heat, vibration, and months of service without falling apart internally. Cheap filters can fail in quiet ways. The filter media may be weak. The anti-drainback valve may leak, causing dry starts. The bypass valve may open too easily or too late. The filter may have less capacity, meaning it becomes overwhelmed before the oil change is due. You may never see the problem from outside. Mazda engines depend on clean, consistent oil flow. If a filter restricts flow, drains back, or allows dirty oil to circulate, your expensive synthetic oil cannot do its job properly. That is why a proper filter is part of the oil system, not an afterthought. This is especially important after engine work, dusty driving, or long oil intervals. Contamination increases and the filter has to hold it. A weak filter may look fine when you install it, but the damage happens inside the canister where you cannot see it. Do you need the most expensive filter in the world? No, but you should use a quality filter from a trusted brand, or an OEM Mazda filter, especially if the vehicle is under warranty. Make sure it matches your exact engine, not just the thread size. A filter can screw on and still be wrong internally. Here is the simple formula. Correct oil, correct filter, correct interval. Remove one part of that triangle and protection drops. But number 2 is even sneakier. It happens after the oil change is finished, when the owner thinks everything is already handled. Number 2, forgetting to reset. Oil data. After the oil change. This one sounds small, but it creates real confusion. You change the oil, replace the filter, close the hood, and drive away. Then weeks later, the wrench light comes on, or the maintenance message appears. Now you are not sure what the car thinks, what the shop did, or when the next service is actually due. Mazda maintenance systems rely on stored data. Depending on the model, the vehicle may track time, mileage, or oil maintenance settings. If the oil data is not reset after service, the reminder can become inaccurate. That can make owners ignore real warnings later or change oil at the wrong time. The bigger danger is not the light itself. The danger is losing track. Once the maintenance monitor is wrong, people start guessing. They say, I think it was changed recently. Maybe it has 3,000 miles left. Maybe the shop reset it. Maybe not. That guessing game is how engines end up running old oil. After every oil and filter change, reset the oil maintenance data according to your Mazda system. On many modern Mazdas, that means going through the Mazda Connect menu, finding Vehicle Status Monitor or Maintenance, selecting Oil Change, and pressing Reset. Some models use a different button sequence, so check your manual. Also, write down the date, mileage, oil type, oil brand, viscosity, and filter used. Keep the receipt. Take a photo if needed. This protects you if there is a warranty issue, and it keeps your maintenance history clear. Do not rely only on memory. Memory gets busy. Phones get lost. Shops change staff. But a simple service record saves arguments later. Now we are at number 1. This is the mistake that makes Mazda owners fight online, argue with mechanics, and sometimes pour the wrong oil into a perfectly good engine. Number 1. Ignoring your exact Mazda engine and copying general advice. This is the biggest one, not because it is complicated, but because people hate hearing it. There is no single oil answer for every Mazda owner. One Mazda may have a naturally aspirated Skyactiv G engine. Another may have a turbocharged Skyactiv G engine. Another may be a diesel in a market where diesel Mazdas are common. Another may be a hybrid system. A Mazda in the United States may have different manual wording than a Mazda in Europe, Nigeria, Canada, Australia, or Japan. That means one confident answer online can be correct for one person and wrong for you. This is why oil arguments never end. One owner says, my manual says 0W20. Another says, mine says 5W30. Another says, my climate chart allows several grades. They may all be telling the truth, but they may not be talking about the same engine, market, or conditions. The right process is simple. First, identify your exact model year. Second, identify the engine, especially turbo or non-turbo. Third, check the owner manual for your country or region. Fourth, match the viscosity and oil quality specification on the bottle. Fifth, choose the interval based on your driving conditions. That process beats any comment section. For many non-turbo Mazda gasoline engines, 0W20 is common in certain markets. For many turbo Mazda gasoline engines, 5W30 is common. Some manuals list alternatives if the preferred grade is unavailable. Some regions offer viscosity ranges, but none of that gives you permission to guess. It gives you permission to verify. If your Mazda is still under warranty, this matters even more. A service record that shows the wrong oil or missing specification can create problems during a claim. Even if the engine failure is not your fault, you do not want weak maintenance records making the conversation harder. So what oil should you avoid right now? Avoid any oil that does not match your exact Mazda manual. Avoid oil without the required quality marks. Avoid random thick oil, random thin oil, diesel oil, racing oil, and bargain oil chosen only because it was cheap. Avoid stretching intervals when your driving is severe. Avoid treating oil like a one-size-fits-all product. Your Mazda does not need magic. It needs the right oil, at the right time, with the right filter, recorded properly. That is how you keep the engine quiet, responsive, efficient, and alive for the long run. Before you pour your next bottle, do a 30-second label check. Look at the viscosity first. Then look for the quality mark. Then look at the back of the bottle and make sure it is meant for gasoline engines if you drive a gasoline Mazda. If you drive a turbo Mazda, be even more disciplined, because the turbo depends on oil for cooling and bearing protection. One wrong habit can shorten the life of a part that spins at incredible speed. Here's another thing people forget. Oil choice is connected to the rest of the maintenance system. A clogged air filter can add dirt. A weak PCV valve can increase oil contamination. Low coolant can raise engine temperature. Old spark plugs can affect combustion. Short trips can leave moisture inside the oil. So when someone says, I used the right oil and still had trouble, the real answer may be that the whole maintenance routine was weak. That is why smart Mazda ownership is not complicated, but it must be consistent. Keep the oil level between marks. Check it at least once a month. Do not wait until the oil light comes on, because that light is not a friendly reminder. It can mean pressure is already dangerously low. If your Mazda suddenly starts consuming oil, do not ignore it. Track the level, inspect for leaks, and let a qualified technician check it before the problem grows. One more warning. Do not mix different oil types casually because you found half a bottle in the garage. Topping up in an emergency is one thing. Building a habit around mystery leftovers is another. Your engine deserves better than garage chemistry. Buy the right oil, keep a spare quart of the same specification, and make every service predictable. Simple records, correct parts, and honest intervals are boring. But boring maintenance is what keeps Mazda engines smooth for years without drama every time. If this gave you information your owner's manual never did, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with every Mazda owner you care about. There is a video on your screen about the most overlooked fluid check in modern maintenance, and it applies to every vehicle in your driveway. Click it now on the left and I will meet you there.